We're wrapping things up here on the spread the way we always do with the anytime touchdown king, the architect himself, Brian Matthews, aka BMatt. If there's a touchdown being scored, he probably could have told you before the game it was going to happen. Brian, appreciate you hopping on the show.
Hey, appreciate you having me. Looking forward to talking football. We still have a slightly lower scoring game, but football's
Yeah.
on TV.
Look, I mean, we're around the number we were at, around that 43, 42 type number. But at least we have some good offensive names. I mean, it's the Seahawks and the Niners, and the best part is both these teams have a lot to play for, right? The Niners can clinch the division. The Seahawks need a win to stay in playoff contention, and we have big names on offense. Plenty of opportunities for touchdowns. As always, check it out on our website. Our grid tells you where to place those bets, so you're not missing out on any value because these tend to fluctuate quite a bit between books, one in and one out. There's really no rhyme or reason for which book has the better ones. It's one day and one another day. That being said, Brian, you have a couple picks for us today. Give me your first best bet to score a touchdown tonight.
All right. So first best bet. I mean, look, if you're gonna tell me blindly, if I weren't looking in or know who the player
Mm-hmm.
was, I didn't know. That a guy had scored a touchdown in six straight games and had a touch or eight touchdowns in his last eight games. You'd think he'd probably be available, minus 140, minus 130 for an anytime touchdown. All right. So my first pick, Tyler Lockett. Look, the guy scored in six straight games. Like I mentioned, he's on a roll. The Niners do not give up much on the ground. And as you mentioned, Kenneth Walker's health, questionable at best. I mean, he's going to play, but do we really know, what the status is? So I'm going to go with a guy that's been red hot. Again, at plus 210, I'll take that value any day.
Yeah, I mean it's really kind of a toss up a little bit between DK and Tyler. But for me, I mean, spoiler alert, Tyler Lockett was one of my bets as well. Um,
Hey.
eh, you get better value for Tyler Lockett. That's honestly enough for me. Who's number two on your list?
All right, so look, it's Christian McCaffrey, right? I mean, this one
Mm,
seems obvious. I know I'm sure he'll be in boost that'll scare people, but I mean, we saw what he did last week without Eli Mitchell, and now they're going to be
mm,
without Debo Samuel. You have to assume against the Seahawks, who are very bad against the run. I repeat, very bad against the run. They gave up two touchdowns
very
to
bad.
Cam Akers. I think Christian McCaffrey will have himself a night, so I think he at least scores
Mhm.
one touchdown.
That's fair. That's fair. For my second pick, I'm going with George Kittle. This is just a perfect matchup type thing. It seems. Brock Purdy is kind of banged up. He's going to play, but you talk about someone with not a lot of experience. They're going to try to take the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible. That kind of segues into my like long shot third pick. But I do think that Kittle hits a nice rebound here. He's been trending up in the last couple weeks of the season, so he's a pretty good value and one of the most bet on, a top three most bet on touchdown score according to DraftKings as well. So I'm not alone in that sentiment, at least. Who is your long shot or at least longer odds type of guy?
All right, so this one, look, I like his yards, but I
Mm,
also like the fact that there's a narrative play here too. Marquise
mm,
Goodwin, former,
mm.
former, we're looking at him. This guy's a former 49er, right? I think he's averaging maybe 40 or 50 receiving yards per game over his last three. Has a touchdown. Let me get a long ball to him. Dial one up at plus 550. I like Marquise Goodwin to score a touchdown tonight if I'm taking anyone at some longer odds.
Yeah, I honestly I agree. I see it. I see the vision. I just think like you mentioned, the Seahawks don't really know how much health is really, or they know we don't know. How healthy their running back group really is. Travis Homer's banged up too. I think so is DJ Dallas. So it's not even like the backups are there for Kenneth Walker against the best run defense in the league. My long shot. I'm going to be completely honest. A little disclaimer here. I don't have any research to back this up.
Oh, I like
I
this.
my only research is why not, and it's Kyle Juszczyk as my long shot. Because literally, why not? You think about Brock Purdy without a lot of experience, even though he looked good. You want to take the ball out of his hands. You want to get a little tricky. No Debo Samuel. CMC's been a little banged up too, and you're going to start, kind of slowing things down a little bit at the end of the regular season to keep them ready for the playoffs. Whole San Francisco, sideline is probably worried about just injuries in general because they're dropping like flies. Classic San Fran. Why not, right? Hell, let's throw some money on 2+ touchdowns for Kyle Juszczyk. No, I'm kidding, but I love it honestly. fire me up for a use check touchdown today.
I actually look. He kind of sold me there. I was already looking at his prop all day, touchdown. So I might go ahead after we get off here and place a bet. Get my long odds Marquise Goodwin paired with use check. Sure, we can get some pretty good odds there.
Yeah, and if I can sell you that easily there, I have oceanfront property to sell you in Ohio.
Hey, I was
If
already
you're willing to
looking at it.
listen.
Already looking at it. Got a bridge I can sell you.
Yeah. Well, Brian, I appreciate the picks tonight. Thanks for joining the show as always.
Appreciate you having me on. Take care.